those of y'all who don't know me, I'm Matt McArthur. I live just south of Sealy. I bought a home here in Austin County a couple of years ago. I was hired in 2008 by the Sealy Police Department, and I worked there for 4 years. I'm running for constable because, like most of the men at this table, especially the ones running for sheriff, I believe that the best crime deterrent is a marked vehicle and a uniformed police officer out working. And before I go too much further, I'll share this little anecdote with you. When I decided to run for constable, I did pretty much what everybody does. I called my mom and told her, hey, I'm running for constable. And of course, like any mom, she was, well, I guess very supportive of it. And then she kind of stopped for a second and said, by the way, what does the constable do? So, because the two main duties of constable, bailiffing the JP court and serving civil process, it's mainly what the constable is charged with. But Mr. Clark is correct, gas is expensive. It's expensive for all agencies. The constable is still a peace officer with the same powers and authorities as a sheriff's deputy or a police officer from any one of the cities, be it Sealy, Wallace, San Philip, any of the cities in Precinct 4. What I'd like to do with the constable's office is be out on patrol more. I believe, like Constable Brandis, the more any officer is out there from whatever agency, the better off we are. As constable, if you vote for me, I will be out on the streets as much as possible. I will be visible. I will be in uniform. And I want to do that because that is one thing that is the most effective way to deter crime. And deterring crime is better than solving it any day of the week. Since I've become a police officer, I've received between education hour training, community college, and actual training hours, just over 3,500 hours of T-close training. I specialized in crime prevention. I've been to 2 crime prevention classes. I was, for a while, in Sealy crime prevention officer, which meant that I went out to homes and businesses and tried to write up evaluations for them, how they could make things safer, both from just a practical sense, but also in a crime deterrent sense. I also did a lot of research in safety as it applies to child care centers. In fact, I've presented my research multiple times, but I've been able to present it 3 times nationally in Phoenix, Chicago, and New Orleans. And that's something, as constable, I would like to keep doing. Because, well, I was raised by a child development professor, so I grew up in and around the universities and the different child care systems. And as I became a cop, I realized how little focus we put into that, into actual security. If anybody who's got a kid in child care, you know how bad security really is if you think about it. That's something as constable I'd also like to work on. If you vote for me, you will get a working constable. I will back up the sheriff's deputies as often as I can. If I'm in Wallace serving paperwork, there's no reason I shouldn't take a loose cattle call or a noise complaint. Why should a deputy have to drive in from Belleville or Sealy to cover something simple? Because gas is expensive. If I can save them a trip or handle a case for them, I think I should. The more marked units we have on the street, the better off we are. And the more active our law enforcement is in the community, the better off we are. And I think I have a lot of things to bring to the table. I'm not going to go on a long tangent about all of them because you've listened to enough of us talk. You're probably ready for some of that punch. But if you have any questions, I'll be here afterwards, and I really would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to